You guys want to know what's on my phone? I guess I'll tell you. So this is a video I've thought about making a couple times over the years, and I guess I finally just decided it's time to do it. So what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to just show you what apps are on my Surface Duo 2, the phone, the device that I daily drive. You're going to notice a few things here, like I don't use a lot of apps that span. I don't really ever span apps at all. They're pretty much just normal apps. But we're going to go through them, through my app drawer, and I'll tell you what I use them for, and maybe 2 or 3 of you will find that interesting. Probably not, but maybe. Let's start now. So as usual, I am capturing my screen using the Your Phone app. If you want to know how to set that up, there is a link in the description down below. I am running the stock launcher here. So, Niagara launcher is fine. It works pretty well with dual screen. Launcher 10 works pretty well on Surface Duo 2 as well. Videos for those things will probably come a bit later, but I am still using the default Microsoft launcher. I just think that it works the best. There's some things about it that I just don't think are replicated very well. So like in Niagara launcher, if I launch an app that happens to be on the left screen and I want to launch another app that's on that left screen, there's not like a quick way to get to it. Whereas on Duo, I can still move around my launcher. I can come over here and then launch another app. And then likewise over here, because you have a blank page over here, a lot of people wonder, why is there a blank page you can't get rid of? Well, that's the reason, because if I've got Twitter open here, and I can still scroll over to that page. That's why that blank page is there. And if it wasn't there, you would go home and then it would flip back over, and that would be kind of an awkward experience. It wouldn't feel like you were controlling the device. So that's why that's there. And that's why I do tend to use the Microsoft launcher, despite the fact that it does have bugs. And in fact, there's one happening right now. You notice that all of my apps are on the left-hand side. They should be spread out. It does this whenever an app is open, but when you close that app, it should flow back over, but it hasn't. It's just not. So it's not perfect, but it's still the best launcher as far as I'm concerned. Let's see if we can get that to fix itself by rotating a couple times. There we go. So hiccups, not a big deal. I do also really enjoy that if you scroll all the way to the left, you will get this vertical list of widgets that you can customize. So I have my calendar here. I've got a to-do list there of potential videos that might potentially happen. Spoiler alert for things I'm considering doing there. I've got my OneNote there for, deeper notes that I may be taking on videos or really whatever. I've got my screen time, and then I've got a widget to control my Soundcore Liberty Air 2 Pros, noise canceling to move between transparency, vocal mode, things like that. That might not stay there because I'm not really using it. In fact, let's just click on edit and I'll just get rid of it now to show you. I untick the box and it's gone now. So all of that stuff does work really well. I get asked this question all the time. Shane, what is your weather widget? This whole widget up here, all of that is an app called Overdrop. And if you click on it, you'll see what I'm saying. It just launches Overdrop, which is a really good weather application. It's got a radar, it's got a pretty granular forecast, and it's got a lot of really good widgets. Overdrop is great. So I guess from here, let's just open up the app drawer and we'll just start going through them alphabetically. I don't know any other better way to do this. I thought about doing what's on the actual home screen first, but if I do that, I'm not going to remember what I talked about, what I didn't when I get to the app drawer. So we're just going to do the app drawer. So obviously Amazon. I use Amazon more than I should. I use Amazon affiliate links here all the time. Probably more than I should, but Amazon's Amazon. You know why. Authenticator, I virtually never use. Backdrops. Backdrops is a great app. People ask me all the time, Shane, where do you get your wallpapers? Backdrops is where I get my wallpapers. It's awesome. You can log in, you can favorite things, you can go to different categories like abstract or AMOLED or Earth, and you'll see all sorts of wonderful wallpapers. The only caveat I'll give you for Surface Duo 2 is you're going to want to save them and then actually apply them here with this screen. You don't want to necessarily let backdrops apply the background because it doesn't really know how to scale it properly. But backdrops is really, really good. Burger King. I enjoy the Burger King from time to time. Calculator. It's just the stock Android Google calculator. Of course, we use calculators from time to time. Calendar. I prefer the Google Calendar. And of course, I do have the one that's there as part of Microsoft as well, part of Outlook, but see, it's part of Outlook, so I can't disable it. I would if I could, but it's part of Outlook. I don't use it. I use the Google Calendar. I have 2 camera apps. One is the camera app that the device comes with, and the other one is a Gcam port of the camera, which I use for low light, for night sight. And I've talked about this already in a video, and I will link to that as well if I remember to do so. If I forget to do so, comment and remind me. Chase, I have a Chase credit card. That's how I pay that. Chewy is awesome. This is where I get all my dog food from. Got a couple of older dogs. I buy expensive food for them, and this automatically reorders my food every like 2 weeks or something, or 3 weeks. And I get a big box of dog food. You've probably seen the box in various videos in the past when my desk was turned around and facing the camera was facing more out that way. You probably saw a Chewy box or 2 in the background. Chilies. I enjoy chilies. Those honey chipotle crispers, pretty on point. Chrome. I have Chrome on here, even though I don't really use it. It's there for some reason. Clock is the basic clock app, alarms, so forth. I've seen some people having some bugs with the alarm app. I've not ever seen that, so continuing to use the same stock. Clock app I've always used. Coinbase to buy some crypto. I've got a little bit of money in crypto. The Dogecoin thing I made a little bit of money off of, and then the Shiba thing I did as well. And I'm holding on to a few of these things to just see if in 20 years I'll be a millionaire. Company portal. This is something that I do not use at all. And in fact, I'm just going to disable because I don't use it. Contacts is just the stock contacts app that was hard to say for some reason. CX File Explorer is my file explorer of choice. It's fantastic, and I use it for a lot of things, just file explorer type things in general. I use it for, but also I use it for network because I can share folders on my computer, network, and then come over here and access those files. So if I need to do something with, one of those files, I need to bring it over to my phone, like some ROMs for some games, or I don't know, maybe I want to look at some gameplay footage from a game or something like that. I can just do that right here. And that is now streaming over the network. How cool is that? Works really, really well. CX File Explorer, fantastic. Discord, I use Discord all the time. It's how I communicate with my friends most of the time, or a lot of the time. It's how I talk when we're playing video games. Love Discord. Drastic is a Nintendo DS simulator. I talked about this in the gaming video for Surface Duo 2. Google Drive, which I don't really use Google Drive that much anymore. I mostly use OneDrive now, but Google Drive is still there for a few things. Duo is the video chat app, which I think I've used Google Duo twice in my entire life, and one of them was by accident. I don't like video chats. I'm glad I don't use an iPhone because if I know people who get iMessage, like FaceTime chats all the time, and I think if someone were to randomly FaceTime me and want to talk to me with my face and everything like that, and I didn't see it coming and I didn't want to, I think I might get really angry and I would just not want to talk to that person. Please never try and video chat me unless we've agreed to this ahead of time. Terrible, terrible thing to do. eBay, don't really use eBay, but the app is there. I was looking up something the other day. I was looking up the Palm phone to see what prices they were now because I want one for some reason. Edge, and then Edge Canary. I use Edge Canary. ESPN, sports scores, MMA, preliminary cards, things like that. Files, this is just the built-in file manager. Let me delete these real quick because I don't need them. And it's there and it's fine, but I don't ever really use it. Fitbit. People ask me all the time, Shane, why are you wearing an Apple Watch? I'm not. I'm wearing a Fitbit Versa 3. I use Fitbit. It's great. Sleep tracking, step tracking, heart rate tracking. It's Fitbit. Game Pass to stream games to my phone, and I do that for videos. I don't, if I'm being honest, I don't really use that in my real life, but I have it on here for whatever reason. Gboard, I don't use SwiftKey because SwiftKey does lots of weird things that irritate me. I like the fact that it slides over to thumb typing whenever I'm on my Duo on whatever screen it slides over. I love that, but the autocorrect is garbage. The speech to text stops listening prematurely, and then it'll randomly move the cursor to the front to the first thing instead of leaving it at the end, so that then I got to move it again. It's just irritating. So I use Gboard. It works much better for me. Gmail, Google TV. Yeah, I use Outlook, but Gmail's there. Go vHome is a thing that I use to control a couple of LED light strips in my house. Google Pay. You can tap to pay with your Surface Duo too. I usually use Fitbit Pay, but I've paid with Google as well. Hearthstone. Used to play Hearthstone a lot. Downloaded it a few days ago just to see how it worked on Duo to make sure everything worked okay. It does. Haven't played it since. I want to play it again, but it's daunting. A lot has changed. They've added so much in the 6 years since I played last. I was a little overwhelmed. Google Home. I have tons of Google Home stuff. Speakers all over the place. Nest cameras all over the place. That's how I control all that. Hulu. Gotta have some place to watch American Dad every night, so there's that. Instagram. I very rarely use Instagram. I do have one. I don't encourage you to follow me on Instagram. I post pictures like this. How about this little turtle that I caught months ago? I caught a very small turtle. If you're into that kind of thing, I guess you could try and look me up. KUB, Knoxville Utility Boards. I live in Knoxville. This is how I pay for my utilities. Kroger's, I shop at Kroger's. Launcher 10, talked about that. Microsoft Lens, I used that most recently to scan a copy of my glasses prescription into my OneDrive. Works fine. Google Maps, Google Messages. I use the stock Google Messages app. I don't like any other third-party messaging app. Google Messages works the best for me. RCS works well. The web app works really well. I've talked about that in another video. Good stuff. SwiftKey, boo. Minecraft is mostly there to play with my little brother from time to time, but I gotta admit, I do enjoy the Minecraft from time to time. Mint Mobile. I use Mint Mobile. It's unlimited data. I pay for it 3 months at a time, and I really like it. I'll probably make a video explaining my Mint Mobile story, how I went from T-Mobile to Mint Mobile, and what I think about that. My Boy is a Game Boy Advance emulator. Works really well. You can span it, rotate. I talked about this in the gaming video. Good stuff there. My Radar is a weather radar app. I'm a little bit of a weather nerd, and this app is pretty good. It lets you kind of just see the whole country, and it's just a good, solid radar app. This is by the way, how quiet is the country? There's no rain. There's nothing going on. It's crazy. Nest, I've already said I use Nest cameras. They're all over the place. Netflix is Netflix. I almost never watch Netflix anymore. There's really nothing on there that I care about at all anymore. But every once in a while, something will pop up that I want to watch. NFL Fantasy, I am in a fantasy football league. If you would like to see what's going on here, let's just look at the league. Of course, I am the king of the Tannehill. And if you look here, you'll see that I'm 5-3 and the highest scoring team in the league. And my wife, somehow, is 6-2 and is in first place. She drafted players that were smiling. That was her strategy, and she's in first place. So fantasy football is a bunch of random nonsense. Niagara Launcher, mentioned that already. Microsoft Office, I use from time to time, but not a ton. I mostly use OneNote, but Office is there if I need to open up a different kind of file. If I get an email from someone that has a weird file in it, I'll use it for that. OneDrive, I've mentioned that. I store a ton of my work stuff on OneDrive, all of my branding material, all of my artwork that I've made over the years, all of my clips that are reused in every video, all that stuff is in OneDrive so that I won't ever lose it. I've been down that road before, and it will never happen again. It's all backed up in the cloud. That's just a great thing to do. OneNote is awesome. I love OneNote. I love the way that I can drag text from one screen to the OneNote thing. I can drag images over. I can grab a pen and draw on it if I want to. Then I can come to my computer, open up OneNote, and it's all there. Go to my Surface Pro 7, which is next to me, and it's all there. Love me some OneNote. Orbee, I have an Orbee system for my Wi-Fi. I've got the modem or the router is in the floor in front of me, and then there's a satellite in another part of the house because I have a 2-story house and I have cameras everywhere. So wherever I was going to put the one router wasn't going to work well for everything. It's a 2-story house and it's old, so the walls are numerous, and so the signal's bad. So having that satellite is really, really important for getting Wi-Fi signal in my house, and they work great. I bought it at a store called Bargain Hunt for about half price. Outlook. I love Outlook. Outlook is great, and it supports spanning. I'm not going to open it because there's some stuff in there that I can't talk about yet. Overdrop, I mentioned. PayPal's PayPal phone app. Google Photos is my photo app. There is the Photos app in here that is from Microsoft. I don't use it because I back up all my photos in Google Photos. That's just the one I use. I do use the Microsoft Photos app for editing occasionally, though. Pixlr is awesome. If you need an app to quickly do some more advanced editing stuff on your phone, it's really, really good. We'll use an image here of my dog, and I'll show you. There's lots of different tools that you can do. There's a double exposure, which basically means bringing another image in as another layer. There's just a lot of really good stuff in Pixlr, and in fact, I use the Pixlr website to make most of my thumbnails, because there's a web app that works even better than this. It's really, really good. Pizza Hut. Do I need to explain Pizza Hut? Google Play Books. I like audiobooks from time to time, and that's how I listen to them. Play Games, Play Store, Pocket City. I've not started playing again yet, but it is a Sim City, like city builder style game. It's really, really good. If you need like a cool chill game building the city, Pocket City is really, really good. Google Podcasts. I am a podcast listener. I do enjoy that. Pokemon Go, of course. Power Director is a video editor that is also it's probably the best mobile video editor on the market. I don't have any videos like actually physically on my phone right now, but you have multiple tracks you can scrub through. It's like a proper video editor. And of course, you can rotate it and have it like that. And it works really well. Or if you wanted to span it, I believe it's kind of okay if you just want more physical space to be able to see like what you're doing. But at any rate, if you're looking for like a free mobile video editor, you could do a whole lot worse than that one. PUBG Mobile. I installed it for a video, and I'm going to uninstall it because I don't play mobile games. Radarscope, another weather app. And what Radarscope does that's really, really neat is it doesn't show you the whole country. This is like kind of a weather nerds kind of app. But what it will do, basically, you have to go and pick a radar station. I think there was some precipitation up here, yeah. And then you can go in and look at reflectivity or velocity or correlation coefficient. Maybe you're looking for a debris ball. Maybe there's a tornado or something. It's a nerdy weather app. Relay Pro is my preferred Reddit app. The Pro version has no ads. It's really good. Remote Desktop. This is a cool one. So I use Chrome Remote Desktop. A lot of people use Microsoft stuff. I like Chrome's better. It works as a web app as well. And it's really, really seamless. So, and on top of that, you can see here, I've got my computer I'm on now. Then I've got my Surface Pro 7, which is the i3, which is around someplace. I haven't set it up again on my Surface Pro 7, my i5 model, which is the one I use. But then you also see my mom's computer. It's set up there as well. So if she ever has like tech support problems, she can just tell me and I can take control of her computer and fix whatever I need to fix. And when you're using it on your phone, you'll be able to kind of this is going to be a little inception-y here, but you're going to be able to see exactly what's going on here. And I can move around between my two monitors. You can see, the OBS there, and then the space that you're seeing behind. This is probably very confusing, but I can do whatever I need to do with it. I can bring up a keyboard, I can type, it's great. It's an awesome little free app. Remove.bg. This is a really, really cool app as well. And I use their website all the time. What it does is it will use AI to remove a background. So if you ever wonder, I have all these thumbnails of me cut out on another background. This is how I do it. Let's just do one. All right, so here's me. Well, let's see how good of a job it does, because it's a dark background behind me, so it's going to be a little bit tricky to do this, but we'll see how it does here. There you go, pretty good job. And that's like 2 seconds. So then I just take that file, bring it over to Pixlr, and continue my editing. It's awesome. It's free and it's great. Retouch. This is a thing I've talked about a little bit as well. This is Google's Pixel or Samsung's Magic Eraser. You just draw on something and it deletes it. On this image here of my dog, 2 things were magic erased. Can you tell where they were? I'm literally zooming in where one thing was, you can't tell, and I'm zooming in where another thing was, you can't tell. I've talked about it already as well. It's great. Rewards. This is a fun app that nobody knows about. It's called Google Survey Rewards. Periodically, Google will just ask you a question and reward you with money on your Google Play balance. I use it to rent movies and stuff. Robinhood is another investing app that I've got a few things on. Settings. Snapseed is another picture editor. If you want something that's a bit more advanced in terms of editing things you can do, like you can do selective areas, like I can put a mark on my face and increase the brightness just on my face, structure, saturation, contrast, and you can change how big that is. You can do multiple spots like that. It's just a really good, really advanced photo editor for your phone. Sound recorder is a sound recorder. Soundcore is just how I manage my earbuds that I use most of the time. Although lately, what's been in my pocket continues to be the Palm Buds because they're really lightweight and I do like them. Steam. You guys know what Steam is. Surface Audio to work on the settings and stuff for my Surface headphones. Tabs. This is an app to look up tabs and so forth for the guitar. If there's a song that I can't quite figure out on my own, I can go here and I can look it up there. It's also got a guitar tuner in it, which I do use from time to time. Taco Bell. You're seeing there's a lot of food in here. I feel like I should be fatter than I am. TikTok. I talked about TikTok earlier on Twitter being broken, and for some reason it has unbroke itself. It is now, but it's now rebroken itself. So TikTok is TikTok. I use it from time to time, but it's not something I spend a ton of time on. Tips to do. I talked about the to-do list already. Twitter. VLC media player. It's just a media player that can play anything. It's great, and it can cast and so forth. Really good stuff. Walmart. Y12 is my bank. That's how I know how much money I have. Your phone companion app, YouTube. YouTube Music is the way to go for me because I pay for YouTube Premium, and that means YouTube Music is part of that. YouTube Studio is how I read your guys' comments and manage my YouTube account from my phone. And then, of course, YouTube TV is how I have television. That's a lot of stuff. This was so much a longer video than I thought it was going to be. This thing's going to be like a 25-minute long video. Hopefully, some of you found that somewhat interesting, kind of a little sneak peek into like what I do on my phone. So guys, thanks for making it to the end of this video. If you did make it to the end of this video, kudos. You're like a legitimate super fan. Let me know if you did, because that's incredible. Stay tuned for more content just like this. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.